So, is there any person wishing to speak to the item on the closed session agenda? Will be granted 3 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Kelly. Lisa Lindbergh, President of the Rialto Education Association. I'm just reading that the U.S. Surgeon General has said there's every chance that we could be Italy. So we all know Italy has shut down their entire country. So before I begin my speech, I just wanted to mention that. Since you have made the wise decision to close our schools, now is the time to consider your employees and their families. Our members have legitimate concerns about their loved ones and personal circumstances. Just as Mr. Martinez has chosen to self-quarantine himself from this meeting this morning, our members have the exact same concerns. We have members over 65 that have been told to self-quarantine. We have members with chronic health problems and compromised immune systems, and they have been told to self-quarantine. We have members with young children who do not have school and limited child care options, even non-existent child care options. We have members who have family members living them with health issues, and they are afraid. I know every decision you make is supposed to be in the best interest of students. During this crisis, you must also consider your employees. As I stated before, we believe our members could work remotely from home if necessary. I also know many of our members would volunteer to help students get fed, as the governor has requested. Later this afternoon, you are having a conference call, Dr. Avila, with the rest of the superintendents in our county and with County Superintendent Ted Alejandro. I understand some decisions are going to be made, and I hope they are in favor of students as well as employees. I leave you with this quote from a principal from another state. In the end, it will be impossible to know if we overreacted or did too much, but it will be quite apparent if we underreacted or did too little. Please consider all of the people involved in this situation. Also, we will be putting in a demand to bargain working conditions later this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more, Dr. Avila?
No.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion to move into closed session.
I make a motion.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Hold on. I put in a speaker slip, but I guess it didn't make it up there.
I don't have any.
Should we read what's going to be considered in closed session, since this is comment?
Well, as provided by law, the following is the item for discussion and consideration at the closed session of the emergency board meeting. Threat to public services or facilities, consultation with district council, district safety intervention and support services, district health services, risk management, district personnel services, and superintendent. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Brinker.
Thank you. Before you start the timer, I have a request and an explanation. First, the request is for some leeway if I go over the 3-minute time period. Now the explanation. There's a lot of Rialto teachers that cannot be here today, and because of the current crisis, and they should not be here. Many of them sent me their public comments, and I've condensed them down to just 8 teachers. Each one's relatively short, and I think it'll take me closer to 4 minutes to read them, but I ask that you give me that courtesy, that
Sure.
their voices be heard. Thank you. Okay, so the first teacher is Carolyn Collins. Dear esteemed board members, I've been a teacher in the district for 13 years. I'm glad that we're closing the schools, as the evidence is clear that will help curb the progression of the virus. Requiring teachers to report to their campus defeats the entire purpose of closing schools in the first place. There are many teachers who fall under the at-risk category or are caring for family members who are at risk. It would be dangerous for them to be exposed to other teachers who recently went on vacation to various places where they could have been exposed to the virus unknowingly. It is imperative that teachers are allowed to work from home and shelter in place. It's the only responsible thing to do for our students in our community. Second teacher, Yesenia Willison. Hello, I'm currently pregnant and I already received a phone call from Kaiser stating that I'm a high-risk person. I'm sure this is the case for many other members. Please let them know that staying home is a national emergency and is supposed to be preventative to take care of the most vulnerable, like my unborn baby. She's currently, by the way, living in an area where there's more of a quarantine because there's an active case in the community in which she lives in. This next person did not want me to give their name for medical privacy reasons. I'm asking you to reconsider sending school employees to work even though you have extended spring break for the students. I receive an infusion every 6 months to suppress my immune system due to my disease. My B cell count is currently at 0, as my last infusion was in January. This also means my ability to fight off a virus is also at 0. The governor has called for home isolation of everyone in the state over 65 and people with chronic disease. I am in both those high-risk populations. I'm home isolating. Please allow me to continue this so that I'm not putting myself, my family, and my students in danger. Thank you for your time. Next one. This is an anonymous teacher who just posted this on Facebook, but I thought it was worth mentioning. My district's total disregard for the teacher's well-being has me quietly seething. This one's from a teacher at Coursera. I'm concerned about the expectation of our Rialto USD employees reporting to work next week. I'm diabetic and have an autoimmune disease that makes me more vulnerable to viruses and infections. I'm also a caregiver to my 86-year-old mom who resides with me and is compromised due to her multiple health issues. I'm worried about interacting with other people at work and possibly bringing the virus home to her. I request the board to reconsider their decision for employees to go to work in this crucial time and taking prevention. This next one is from Jessica Buckle, award-winning teacher at Carter High School. Let the board know that I think if, as educators, we are expected to practice equity, and at the same time, that practice should be extended to employees. Some of us take care of older parents. I help take care of my senior father who had a stroke at the beginning of the year, and I know there are others that do this as well. Some people commute. I commute from Garden Grove. It's an expensive, time-consuming commute, but I do it because I love my students. However, if they're not there, why can I not be trusted as a responsible employee to do work from home like our students will be expected to do? And a lot of our employees have children, and they will have an extra expense of childcare, and they cannot turn to older family members who are supposed to be quarantined to do so unless they bring their children to work. This one's from another teacher in the district. I'm unable to come and speak today because my son is homesick. He had a fever for 1 week and now has a bad cough this week. For 5 weeks, I had a student come to school with a cough so bad that he could barely catch his breath. I sent him to the nurse multiple times during those 5 weeks. They said that he does not have a temperature, and they sent him back. Students do not have to have a temperature to pass a virus. 9 out of 13 of us in the class got sick, and we brought it home to our families. We should not have to beg for you to do the right thing. Students do not have to attend school now until April 6th. You should value your teachers' health as well. I'm requesting that the staff as well should not return. It looks like it will go on further now since it is recommended for 8 weeks with no groups over 50 people should gather. Many of us work for Rialto but have children that go to schools in other districts. Many of us have no child care available. Also, it feels very unsafe leaving our homes with all this panic going on in the communities. It's a very scary time. Many of us have elderly parents that we take care of, and we do not want to bring anything home that could affect their health. Rialto Board, the funding is there. You will still get paid for the students, and the funding is there for staff due to this being a national emergency. Days do not have to be made up at the end. Do the right thing and show us that you value us as well. We work so hard for the district every single day, and it'd be nice to know that the district values our health and safety. And I've just got one more teacher here, so let me finish this up. Another teacher sent me a video of the superintendent of the Val Verde Unified. At the beginning of the video, he identified the district staff as the most precious asset and explained that they would not need to report to work. He showed caring, empathy, and respect in the video as he went on to outline the details of their school closures. After watching the video, our Rialto teacher said the following to me in a private message. That's my message that I want our school board and superintendent to hear. They want us to make connections and build relationships with our students. We should be able to expect the same from them. That's how you calm people's nerves and build relationships in times of crisis. In closing, I would also ask that you please consider our classified employees and our management employees. How can we reduce the impact on everyone? That's what we should be asking. We are a Rialto family, and an injury to one is an injury to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I guess I don't know where, do you just, we have slips for these people? Just go ahead.
I did fill out a slip.
Yes, Keith Rubio. They just came in.
I'll make it short. Good morning. My name is Keith Rubio. I'm a special education teacher at Rialto High School. I drove down the mountain this morning from Lake Arrowhead to attend this meeting because I am concerned. I am concerned for the welfare of our students, but also for our staff and teachers. My children are juniors at Rim of the World Unified School District at the high school. They are currently home. They are home today because the Rim of the World Unified School District took the prudence to close the school and also to keep the teachers away from the school to avoid any kind of infection. We're fairly isolated up there, and I was surprised at this decision, but I'm surprised at the decision of the Rialto Unified School District to only close the schools and keep the students away from school, but have the staff attend. We are not certain about the incubation periods for this disease, and I don't believe that that everybody does understand it in totality. I had a conversation with my children's mother, who is an epidemiologist and received her master's degree from Loma Linda University, and she said to me this morning that she was glad that Rim of the World Unified School District is closing down and taking the steps to keep all the children safe and the staff safe as well. I would liken the district to a ship. You are the captains. You are the people that steer the ship. We teachers are the crew. The cargo are our students. And in order to get our students safely to where they need to be, all needs to be well on the ship, including the captains, the crew, and especially the cargo. I would ask that the Board of Education consider this in their decision to close the schools, but also to keep the staff from working, so that, like the cruise ships that we saw recently get stranded out to sea, that the ship at Rialto Unified School District is not stranded as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
No.
Okay. Can I have a motion to move into closed session?
Comment before
Yeah.
we go into closed session?
Thank you, President O'Kelly. Can everyone hear me all right? Okay, good. I just want to say that the message is loud and clear. It's very important that the input that we received today was timely, because that is going to help us to guide us to where we need to go. Without that input and people stepping forward, then, you know, it's kind of a blind decision. And this is an example of the community coming together to share with important decisions, and I applaud you for being here and sharing your points of view. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala.
We have one more.
And we have another slip. Go ahead.
Jenny, I think it's Hope.
Good morning. It's actually Jeannie Appel. Good morning, Board of Directors and Superintendent. I just want to say thank you to the Board of Directors for taking the time for doing this emergency meeting and listening to our concerns. I also want to take the time to thank our school district for the excellent job of doing communication with the parents by text, the phone calls, updating your website, and the top priority, safety of our students and the well-being of our students. I have 6 children, 4 of which attend the Rialto Unified School District. 2 I homeschool. I have 2 at JHU and 2 at Rialto High School. I'm very involved in my kids' life and education because I feel that it's the one key element to have a child succeed. I actually volunteer countless hours at my kids' past and present schools here at Rialto. Because I have volunteered at the schools, I have made relationships with the staff and teachers at the schools. So I know them more at a personal level. I know that some of them are caregivers, like it has been said here today, of those that are at age. Some are expecting, some have chronic illness or respiratory problems. You all get where I'm going with all this. I'm here today because the letter that was communicated with us regarding employees, it says all employees are required to maintain their normal calendar after spring break. This shocked me because as a parent, I know my teachers, they're parents as well, and they also have students. Our teachers and our staff's lives are as important as our students. Let us make sure that we remember and let them feel like they are important. Our Rialto Unified School District teachers are excellent. I'm supposed to be in San Bernardino, but I made the transfer because I believe in this district. I love this district. So my countless hours that I put in to this school is because I love the relationship that I see with our students and our teaching staff. I pray that God will give you guys the wisdom and the knowledge to make the right decision at this time. May God bless you, bless us, keep us safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
No others.
Okay. All right, so now, do I have a motion to move into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh, you already did.
Let's all shut ourselves.
All right.
Hey, girl, did you get a message? The meeting is lasting longer than I thought it was, so push the staff back to at least 12:30. Yeah, because we just came back in right now. Okay, all right, I sent an email out first.
Is there birds, Mr. Martinez? Yes, I'm here.
Good one.
That's Saida saying she's ready to rock.
Is that a canary? Sounds like one. What was the name of that cat that ate the canary? Sylvester. See what he looked like after he ate that canary? What? We were kids watching that show.
Mr. Adams, you're not golfing, right? You're golfing.
Didn't say that.
That's the best place to be because you're eating by yourself. Kind of just. Okay.
You don't know how bad this really is, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're putting all the elderly on quarantine, not quarantine, but basically.
Self-quarantine.
Yeah, so, and anybody over 65, that's me. Now they're saying I gotta sit home and watch cartoons.
Nothing wrong with that. It's okay to go back to the simple life.
Yeah, no. I think we're at a disadvantage. I say as a parent, we're at a disadvantage because we already had spring break or coming up this week of spring break. Then we're gonna have additional 2 weeks. So like my kid is sitting up there like, yeah, Mom, what are we doing?
You're like, oh boy.
Right. And then she's like, we can try to do, she wanted to be homeschooled. So she's like, we can try homeschooling while I'm, and I'm like,
Yard work.
no, right.
Vacation.
Yard work, right. But it's been raining. But I do have a shovel in a
I'm
hole.
just curious, how many are carrying these right now?
Family bonding.
Right.
Everybody should have one in their.
Oh, look.
See, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
Wait a second. And wipes.
and wipes. No,
I'm getting the right one.
that's what we are right now.
If we're back in session, I can barely hear.
We're not back in session yet.
All right, thank you.
There's just a lot of people that are talking at the same time.
You can go to Amazon.
You're back.
So, save your bottle, you should always refill it.
Hey, one of my visitors out last week, they were passing them out.
Yeah. And if you get caught gouging people to sell them? Because some people put ridiculous prices on them.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, open session is reconvened at 11:57 a.m. What is our report out of closed session?
There's no report,
No report. Okay.
but I will have some comments when we open up for the action item.
Okay. Before we vote to adopt the agenda, I have an item to read out. It says, correction to agenda item D1, emergency resolution number 19-20-48 has been amended to include the following language. Whereas, as of March 15th, 2020, there are 333 cases reported of COVID-19 in California, and one case has been detected in San Bernardino County. The extent to which members of the district community may have contracted coronavirus COVID-19 is unclear. Be it further resolved and ordered that schools will be closed from Monday, March 23rd, 2020 through Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Schools will reopen on Monday, April 6th, 2020. Okay, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, discussion action items. Number 1, consider and adopt emergency resolution number 19-20-48 responding to coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Do I have a motion to approve?
So
With
moved.
discussion,
Second.
Okay, discussion?
please.
Okay.
Mr. Ayala, I think,
Oh, superintendent.
did you want to say something first?
Yes.
Could you let him go
Please,
first?
absolutely.
And so just wanted to clarify a couple of things. One is that the purpose of this meeting, emergency meeting, is to consider the resolution that's on the agenda today, which essentially gives the superintendent the authority to close the district. That's the action item. That's what it is. Now, we have received a number of calls, emails, in-person conversations with a lot of concerns surrounding this particular item. Not on the agenda, but the health issue that's before us today. And so there's a lot that goes into the closure of a school district. You have, funding issues, that assurances that we have to receive from particular agencies. We have to have a basis for a closure. We have statutory timelines that we must continue to meet, because the closure of a district does not stop the operation of the district. We have items that have to do with due process, IEP obligations, payroll. People still need to be paid, even if the district closes. We have to consider instruction, if any, is going to be provided to students. Preparation for state exams, now that they're waived. We also have AP assessments that have not been necessarily waived. We have to consider along those lines technology and whether or not families have access to technology, and if instruction is going to be provided. The security of the district, benefits, liabilities, whether or not people work from home or not. All those things factor into all the decisions that are being made. And so we fortunately, as a district, had the benefit of having spring break this week, which bought us a little bit of time to prepare. But nonetheless, we needed to communicate at least the preliminary steps that the district is doing. Staff worked very diligently last week. Yesterday, Sunday, we were here working, hashing out plans, considering every possible scenario. And I know information went out about all staff needing to report. We have continued these conversations, and as it has been communicated, the situations will change on an hourly basis. We're expecting to hear from state officials later this afternoon for more direction. Know that you have an extremely caring Board of Education. We had some very valuable input in closed session, sometimes spirited, but very valuable because everybody is concerned, but we have to consider all the different scenarios. We do plan to invite our bargaining unit presidents to the conversation before we make any final recommendations, because we believe that their input, their insight is extremely valuable, and we want to send a unified message to parents, to students, to staff, and to the entire community of how Rialto is handling this situation. It's easy to compare us to how other districts have responded, but keep in mind that every district deals with its own local issues or its own circumstances. And while that is, gives us at least an opportunity to learn from some of the things that have worked or the things that haven't worked, because others closed a few days before we did, we take all of that into consideration. But know that with all that's been said, there will be some staff that will be required to come to work because, again, certain functions and operations of the district have to continue. Others will not. We have listened to you, and because this is a medical, a health issue, it's hard to not value the health of every individual. You look at our strategic plan, our core beliefs, and it's embedded within it. And so we'll do our best to ensure that only those who have critical functions to keep the district up and running will be the ones that will be invited to come to work. If it needs to be on a rotating basis or on a volunteer basis, whatever the case might be, all that will be worked out, and hopefully by the end of today. It may require us a little additional time because some scenarios may not be able to be resolved today. But show us the trust that you have in this board and this administrative team to make the decisions that are going to benefit and protect the health and safety of everybody involved.
Okay, any other discussion on this item? Mr. Ayala?
Okay, I think we've already heard, and I think most of us understand the comments where it's better to overestimate than find out later that we underestimated and made some critical errors. So this board understands that those statements. Want to reiterate the fact also that we realize that safety is our #1 priority here. Yes, we want to educate our kids, but besides that, the precedence is safety for not just the kids, for our community, for ourselves. May sound a little corny to you, but there was a little character called Elmo. Yeah. And he loved Christmas, and he wanted it every day. And guess what? He got it. This magical fairy gave Elmo Christmas every day. So Elmo was elated. Oh, it's going to be Christmas every day. So the next day he got up, and he went to his favorite store, and guess what? They were closed for Christmas. And he said, oh, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. And then tomorrow, the same sign was there, the same sign was there. After a while, Elmo couldn't find anything to eat. Because guess what? He had wished for Christmas to be available every day. So it didn't work out after Elmo thought about it. He says, you know, maybe I was a little too hasty in asking for Christmas every day. We kind of got a situation here where, yes, you know, we have we have to consider what's going on here. We have kids with special needs who, my gosh, we just can't not attend and help these children. We have to find people who are willing to step up, okay? Without using big words to describe these people, I'm just going to say they're heroes. They're heroes. There are staff who are healthier. They're confident psychologically and physically. If you ask them to show up, they will show up. And then you also have staff who feel a little vulnerable, who, not for a choice of their own, but maybe their age, they have a condition. We have to respect that. So here in Rialto, I want people to know that this is a very caring district. This is a excellent board, excellent staff, and we're going to keep those, we're going to keep our values up. We're going to keep our philosophy intact, where I guess we can say that we run no faster than the slowest runner. We're going to take care of our own. We're going to give opportunities for people to step up to the plate and be a hero, and we are going to respect those individuals who maybe aren't ready to step up, but we will respect them just as well. And these are tough decisions. These are tough times. We can't say in 5 days everything's going to be perfect. We don't know. There are statistics that will show us that maybe in some other parts of the world things have declined over time. That will help guide us, but we're on a day-to-day basis. So I'm very confident the decisions that we make here in Rialto today will be positive and will be the decisions that we say to ourselves, we did not underestimate what the crisis could have been for tomorrow. Thank you very much for the opportunity just to say a few comments. I turn it back over to our President, O'Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Is there any other discussion?
Just a comment. Just to thank you, Superintendent Avila, and for the staff and everything for working even preemptively, even up until now, until we've had to vote on this, around the communication to the community and the families around the situation of the COVID-19. I'm excited about the fact that we are working together and we're preemptive, and luckily, you know, in one good hand, we've had this week because our kids are out, and so we can plan without them having to be there. But the other hand, it's still a situation and a pandemic, and in my generation of my age, I've never seen this before, so this is all new for probably the majority of people in the room. And so it's really, although some people are panicked and some people are kind of laissez-faire, and I'm probably more that, you know, I'm like, until I found out there was a case in Fontana. So then now it's a little different, so it's closer to home. So just for that, everybody just keep, you know, try to keep your wits about you as much as you can, and know that the district is working with all of our staff and our community folk to make sure that all of the needs of our students are met, and our families, as far as health, the educational instruction, and the biggest thing for me is making sure that our kids who do need food and things of that sort, those things have not been left out of the discussion and the plan. And so thank you, district, for making some plans and having some things to move forward for. Thank you for the Department of Safety for making sure that your folk are going to be there to keep our kids and our families safe, and as well as our staff. And I look forward to whatever happens there, and hopefully we'll see, it'll be on the short side versus the long side of what the pandemic is looking like here in the United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. I would just like to add that all staff, please be available to be contacted. Check your emails regularly, because things are changing by the hour, and we want to keep you up to date on what needs to be done. So be available, check your email, and we'll get through this thing. Also follow all the safety precautions. If you can find hand sanitizer, use it. Wash your hands 50 times a day. But they're very serious steps and can save a life. So it's I've never been through anything like this, and I'm much older than Ms. Walker, so it's uncharted territory. Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Martinez?
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Are you in favor of?
Yes.
Okay, so 5 ayes. All right. Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Hello?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The time is?
We are adjourning at 12:11 a.m. p.m. p.m. God.
Joe.